All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need an invitation. I'm about to start a celebration.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to Three Cocktails In. I'm here with the two other cocktails in our healthy mix of opinion, very little fact, and current day conundrums. I'm really stoked for the episode tonight. How about you guys? You ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay. Let's throw out a disclaimer that this one could ruffle some feathers, and I'm here for it. We haven't really done anything too controversial in my mind, but this one, I think especially if we can get some intergenerational dialogue going here, it's probably gonna. It could be really, really interesting.
Yeah. I think so too. And we've been sitting on this one for a while. So
this is tempting to calm down on the whole thing, but I tell you, we just watched the clip. We're going to share a clip. So also that's a first. We're going to share a clip and then we're going to discuss it. But having just watched it now after it's been a couple months, I'm still as irritated as I was the first time I saw it and shared it with these guys. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. This is Stacey or Amy came across this little clip on Instagram, and I think we've been sitting on it for a while because we wanted to make sure that when we do address it, we've got control of our emotions. Good
luck with that.
Sure. I think that we will or not tonight, but yeah. So are we ready? Do you want to jump into it?
Yeah, let's roll.
All right, everybody. This is 1 minute and 31 seconds. Listen carefully, turn the volume up. This is a young woman. She talks pretty quickly, but you got to hear what she's saying. Okay?
Right. Enjoy.
Here we go.
Young women for the workplace drama that involves a random old lady having one-sided beef with you.
No, because random older white women in corporate America just being the biggest bullies you've ever encountered, like so rude for no reason, is something that nobody in this life prepared me for. And we absolutely need to talk about it, because why is a 45-year-old woman named Sarah beefing with me for no reason at all? It's always like the toxic corporate work culture of like, oh, we're all just like a big family here. And then there's just one random woman who's making it her full-time job to make all the young new hires miserable. Now, I've had many jobs with bosses I get along with, but I remember one of my first jobs, I had this boss and she just was an absolute nightmare, to the point where everyone in the department started having issues with her as well, so I didn't feel so isolated. But for some reason, I feel like she was taking it all out on me constantly, to the point where like I was starting to cry every single day at work in the bathroom stalls. Like, I was genuinely losing my mind. I don't know why. I was doing absolutely everything I could to try and make everybody in that place happy, to the point where I even got like a promotion pretty early on because her boss was like, oh, you're doing some good work here. And after that, it got even worse on her end. Like, it became a running joke in our department, because I was friends with all my other coworkers, that like anytime an issue happened, I was going to get written up and sent to HR for it. And I know this has been a trending topic with women of color recently on the internet, and obviously our issues with them are probably very different, but I'm just here to say you're not crazy. Like, they are genuinely just like, why are they like this? And then, of course, when people try and share their stories, all they hear is 45 isn't old. No, 45 isn't old, but it's way too old to already be acting like a boomer. Step outside yourself and listen to other people's experiences for once.
Did y'all catch that?
As Mel Robbins would say, let's unpack that.
I don't know. Part of me just really wanted to lock it up, throw the key. But yes, let's unpack it.
Yeah. And it's a little hard to even know where to start with all of that. For me, I feel like one of the biggest overarching things that I take away from that is, so this young woman feels attacked, right? Mm-hmm. Clearly she feels attacked. And one of the things that I noticed, when we've been in positions where we are maybe managing someone who's in the 20s. And you're right. I mean, Amy said right at the beginning of this could ruffle some feathers. And that's one of the reasons why we've sat on this for a while, because I don't really want to ruffle feathers. So I want to make sure that I'm stating my position on this clearly. But what I have experienced, that when I have managed younger people and I do give them constructive criticism, they don't really like to hear it or take it.
Mm-mm.
And that's what I hear coming out of this young woman's words.
Right.
So that's where I'm starting on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not take it that this woman, this 45-year-old white woman, and why are they all out here? I mean, we get accused so often of sweeping generalizations and lumping people into groups.
Yes.
That's where I'd like to start on this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That, yes, I think that we could narrow it down to this situation and this person, but it does seem that quite a few people, young women, feel that old women, 45, old, are the problems. But I didn't take it that this woman was her manager. I thought that this other woman was just snipping at her about everything.
Yeah, could be. So, but okay, do you guys remember when you first started working? So when we were in our 20s and we were in our first jobs, the relationship between, so I'll just speak for myself. My relationship with people who were 20 years older than me, I looked at them with nothing but respect.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not I liked them, whether or not we had really anything in common, if they were a senior to me in my workplace, I just, out of respect, looked up to them, just assumed that they had things that they could teach me. I didn't walk in there thinking, I know it all. I am fresh out of college. I know it all. And I'm generalizing again, because I want to say I'm generalizing, because I know that not all of the younger generation are acting this way, but I see that show up in the workplace, that they come in and they think they know it all. And so when you have, whether or not they're a manager, when you've got that older coworker, why is it just, if you have interaction with that older coworker, why is it automatically taken as, well, why is this person picking at me, or giving me this feedback that isn't
Right.
called for? You know what? I bet it probably is called for.
Yeah. Well, for me, when she says, I've had a lot of jobs, and everyone, that triggered me right there. Well, you've had a lot of jobs and you're not, you know, maybe she's the problem, honestly. If she's not getting along with 45-year-old Sarah, I mean, how hard can it be to get along with? You know what I mean? Maybe she's the problem. And I the first time I listened to it, I was thinking, I don't even know anyone that really fits that. You know what I mean? I don't even know that I've worked with anyone that fits that. So, I was also thinking at the same time, women our age, we probably have to be a little more careful, just like you said, they should respect us and for our knowledge and what we have, but they clearly don't. So how do you, you know, how do you teach them and give them feedback that's a little softer, honestly, because that's what they want. I remember, for me, just like you said, Kitty, everybody older than you respected. I was constantly asking for help and asking questions all the time, trying to learn as much as I could in that capacity, instead of thinking I knew anything, because I knew nothing. You know what I mean? And I just think you're right. Some of them come in and think, they're so much better with, say, technology, or, whatever, doesn't matter. But they just think they know, what they're doing coming in. So
Yeah.
I would like to argue that knowing technology does not make you better at your job.
no.
It makes you better able to process what might be asked of you at your job. But unless you're coding and that is your job, it doesn't make you better at your job.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Agree.
And then she called it, acting like a boomer. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Boomers honestly are probably nicer than we are. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
what I mean?
It's the Gen X that she must be having a problem with, because
Evidently.
boomers are grandmotherly. So
right.
So I'm of two minds of this. So, we didn't know shit and we just figured it out. That is, I think, an overarching theme of women of our generation. And actually, people of our generation, our whole age group, very much, we did kind of raise ourselves in many ways. Nobody knew what we were doing after school. Our parents could never check on our grades. It was assumed if you had homework to do that you were supposed to get it done. I mean, it was on us to do it. There was no computer. You had to work your ass off to plagiarize, because that meant you got to, just everything about us was, well, shit, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So I wonder if part of this is they're not getting the warm fuzzies from Sarah at 45. And she's taken the idea that, well, I figured it out, you figured it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not saying that's right.
Right.
I am not saying that right. So the other piece with that is the assumption that you got the job, you're smart enough to figure it out. What if Sarah at 45 looked over her shoulder the whole time and was telling her how to do things the whole time? That would be more annoying to me than 45-year-old Sarah sitting in the corner by herself and throwing out zingers every once in a while when something isn't how it used to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't. But
I'm also not.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm also not saying that Sarah at 45 isn't also potentially the problem.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we probably have to look within, ourselves at times too, just how we're dealing with them. Because I'm sure, don't think I haven't rolled an eye when I get asked the same question for the 5th time. You know what I mean? It's like, take a note and go back to your notes. Why are you asking me this for another time? You know what I mean? So
yeah, Kitty, you've never told anybody to write things down, have you?
No, that's right. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's okay if you're not going to write. Because apparently this is what old people do. If you're not going to write it on a piece of paper, then you know what? These things have this fancy little note-taking ability. So if you want to take your notes on your phone, that's absolutely fine. But take a note.
Yes.
You can't store it all up here.
Yeah.
So why is it, in my experience, and maybe it was because of the industries that I've been in, very sales-dominated industries, it was crotchety old men. It was not south. Yes, there were some, kind of people who were not in front of customers that were in the accounting or operations. Those women were sometimes less than cuddly and supportive until you got to know them. Takes a little work, but you say nice things, you cultivate that relationship. So that's something, cultivating a relationship. But why are they only bitching about women? Is the expectation that older women in the office are going to be like your mother, who loves you and thinks you're the best thing in the entire world and gives you, a ribbon for everything? And the dads aren't? I mean, why is it that older white women, as they've said, older white women, and I'm not talking about the political aspects of gatekeeping the glass ceiling, and we're not talking about that. We're not talking about, that's not what this conversation or this snippet was about. That's an entirely deeper thing than the three of us are, qualified to get into. We're talking about,
So let's say that beef that that Sarah was having with this woman, if Sarah was Steve, would this woman in the video have such a problem with it?
Mm-hmm.
how would she handle it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that we would hear her coming on and doing a video on Instagram talking about these 45-year-old men in the workplace. Like,
yeah,
double standard.
It's a complete double standard. And it gets back again to that, when there are women in the workplace who are strong and confident and decision makers and leaders, that when we exert some dominance in a way, or we say, nope, this is how it's going to be, or we might be short or something like that, that comes across as bitchy, versus a man doing the same thing. He's being a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just wrong.
It is. Well, and if this woman, 45-year-old Sarah, is really that nasty and the whole department is laughing about it, that's a bigger HR issue, and somebody needs to be addressing it.
Yeah, agree. I'll be honest, my personality would really have a problem with this woman anyway, because she just talked a mile a minute like she knew everything, and if that's how she acts at work, that's going to annoy the crap out of a lot of people. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I think we talked about this on a previous episode. We talked about how beneficial it is for young people who are coming out of college to have a mentor in some shape to help them make that transition. And these are the things that I think a really good mentor can help influence. And they could, perhaps work with someone like this and just say, I wouldn't want to be this person's mentor because I'm not exactly sure how to do it, but this would be a coaching moment for this person, because at some point she's going to cross a line, and it's not going to work out well.
Yeah. Well, Stacey, I hadn't thought about it until you brought it up, where you mentioned she says she's had a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
Now that I think about that, she's not very old.
No.
So what kind of jobs has she had? Is she talking career jobs, or she's talking jobs?
Yeah. I don't
know. This is a recurring theme. Yeah. That older white women, she's got a problem with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of they've got a problem with her, it does seem like maybe, that's, if everybody is whatever.
Yeah.
What's what is the one constant in all of those situations?
Right. Yeah, it's her. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope some of our daughters are listening. I've got mine don't listen all the time, but Madeline works in a very large corporate setting. She does work with significantly older people. Majority are men. Georgia just pays attention to stuff. Georgia works in a very male-dominated field, so her gripes aren't typically with the women.
It'll be interesting
here, but I can already anticipate what we're here, what will here.
Not
And
one
I don't know why. Why is there such this gap between 20, 25, 28, 30
Mm-hmm.
and 45, 55, something
Yeah.
or other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they all say. I've never heard any of my kids complain about somebody like that, you know. So I don't know.
Well, I'm sure that both of them work in knowing what they do. They've got to have some people who are tenured that have
Yes,
got to be, I
right.
would imagine, grumpy butts.
Sure. Yeah. And I'm sure there's periods of time when, we've been grumpy butts. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's ever, everybody has a bad day, but I don't think that's a constant thing that someone has ever taken out on someone else. You know what I mean? She's making it
Right.
sound like it's always like this,
And always to her.
and to her. Yeah. Yeah.
I would bet that you could track this back to college and to high school and maybe to middle school, that it was probably a, a, a view of the world that she's always had. And, so Bo was going through a problem with the teacher or, whatever. Our response would always be, doesn't matter if you don't like your teacher. It's she or he is your teacher. And you will encounter people that you don't care for your entire life. You still have to be able to interact with them. So I think this sort of outlook on life or outlook on the way that you interact with people goes all the way back into your childhood. It doesn't just show up when you start your working career.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Me too.
I mean, and it's a universal truth. You are not going to like everybody you work with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Group projects suck. Let's all be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
And
But
you don't.
it is the way of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't have to. You don't have to be best friends with the people that you work with. You go to work, you do your job, whether, it's whatever your job happens to be, and you go home. Your job, your career is a part of your life, but it doesn't have to be. I remember that when I think back to my first jobs, meeting those people for the first time, and then you started, you would start doing happy hour with them, and then you'd start hanging out on the weekend, and then all of a sudden you're like, good Lord, I spend way too much time with these people. And so then it can kind of take a south, it can kind of go south a little bit. And I don't know why in those early days, and maybe it's because you're still kind of developing your friend group. So now you've left college.
Yeah.
And in most cases, you might, your friend group goes like this, scatters. So you're trying to make friends again. I suppose that's probably what it is. But you don't have to be besties with the people that you work with.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's great when you are, when you find one.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yes. Yeah,
but no,
definitely.
it won't be with everyone.
I think if you can find one,
Yeah.
you're really good.
Yes.
Yep.
There are studies done on that. If you have a best friend at work, the chances of you staying in that job and the chances of you, staying longer in that job grows tremendously if you've got a good friend there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that is true. Yep.
Well, it took, I'm the old one that doesn't know what I'm doing. Well, I feel like I do now. Finally in month, 16, 17 at my new job, I finally feel like I know what I'm doing, although I still call and ask questions all the time to people. But I feel like I have found a person at work that, we have a sales meeting. There are two that I like to sit by. There are other women that are lovely and some men too, but there's one that it's an easy, I like it when the chair's open next to her. And then the phone call usually on the drive back to our offices about what's going on. That does make me feel better about going to the sales meeting or a group event or something like that.
Yeah.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
But you can't walk into a room thinking everybody's stupid and you know more than everybody else, regardless of what your age is or your gender.
No.
Yeah, my closing thoughts on that video in general is just that I wish that there was more acceptance, more respect for a wide range of ages within a workplace. That what makes a successful workplace is the combination of the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
the wealth of knowledge that you have with the experienced people, and then the young ones that are coming in, they're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go. You put those things together, and you're going to have tremendous success.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My closing thoughts on that is it's got to come back to individual effort on the girls, the women, the young women who are complaining, and the Sarahs. But I think so many people of that age, first of all, they don't like confrontation. Many of them in the younger age group, they actually don't like talking to people. They would prefer to text, email, not have to have the conversation. But if you've got a problem or you find somebody to be standoffish or even snarky, you need to go and talk to them.
Yeah.
And older women, a younger woman comes to you and wants to talk to you, you need to take the time and listen and offer, be part of the conversation, partake in the conversation. Again, doesn't mean you two are going to be best friends and working on any projects together if you get a choice about it. But instead of going online and bitching to everybody that I'm getting picked on by a raggedy old woman at work, how about we try a few things first?
Yeah.
Like, none of us know what's going on in the other person's life. You don't have any freaking idea of what this person is going through. How about you bring in 2 coffees one day and you put it down on your desk and say, I don't know where exactly we went wrong here or how we got off the track, but can we call a truce? Have I done something?
Yeah.
What do you need from me? I mean, it's to the benefit of the whole group to try and make.
That would be a great thing to do.
Doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to be best friends. You don't got a carpool. You don't have to eat together.
Right. Yeah. From between work hours, you just have to get along and collaborate and, do together whatever you're assigned to do. And,
Yeah.
that's all.
I had an old boss once who, if there were 2 employees that did not get along, he would create a project that the 2 people would have to work on together.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did it work though? I mean, did they
I don't know.
excel at it, or did they just it was a tragic end and got nothing done, or how did that work out?
I only remember seeing it happen twice, and they did it, I think it did made them more civil to each other.
Tolerant.
Tolerant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like like the forced fun team building.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Painful.
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 Do you guys remember when I had to go on that stupid retreat up at Sugar Lake something, and we had to climb a 30-foot pole?
Mm. Yeah.
I've never been
I
so
know.
furious.
Yeah. I had to do a military, God, what is it called? When you do the
Boot
stations,
camp.
different kind of, yes. Me and
Like a ropes course or something like that. It wasn't
sort
ropes,
of.
but yes.
I mean, it was all like, we were stepping, had to move not logs, but move boards to get from one pedestal to the other pedestal and, not fall into the water or crawl through tubes and help each other do, it's just
That
dumb
was
stuff.
you and a bunch of men, wasn't it?
Me and a man. Yes. Me and 15 other men. I don't know. But, with a bunch of women, it would have been a blast because we'd all just, whatever, dinked
We
around.
would have stood there, analyzed the problem, figured it out.
Oh, no. We just
organized
charge
who was
in.
going first, and it would have taken you one try.
Right. Yeah. No, instead we just all charged in and, oh, you do this and you do whatever. But yeah, that kind of stuff literally is kind of painful. With a bunch of friends, it would be fun. With a bunch of work, coworkers, it's painful because nobody wants to be there. That's the big kicker. Is nobody
And you
really
can't
wants
be your true self when you're there.
No. No. Yeah. No. So that's the weird thing. Yeah. So
Well, I will tell you this, that here at my new company, there will be none of that.
yeah. Good idea. Yeah. And I bet your coworkers aren't going to call you, the old lady,
No,
that
they
kind
know
of-
better than that.
Yes,
Yeah,
right?
they do.
Yeah. Yeah, you said one thing about, taking feedback. I agree. That's one thing that, I mean, it's hard for everybody, but I feel like I expect it. In fact, I ask for it a lot of the time because, we're trying to improve and we're trying to, do the best we can. And if something's not right, we'll, try to change it based on feedback. But that's a thing, young people, I think, have to get in the mindset that your boss is going to give you feedback. You're going to get some good things occasionally, but a lot of it isn't going to be good necessarily because they're trying to improve you, trying to improve the whole business, let's say. But I think that's it. They don't, a lot of people.
You're the generation of participation trophies.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody ever lost.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it'll be hard. So if you're listening, be prepared. You just take it and think of it as a way to improve on whatever you're doing, not take it internally that it has, don't take it personally. Here's what your boss wants, and they're just telling you that.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to hear. I want to hear
I
from
do
both
too.
sides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I just think, the part of me, there's part of me that just wants to say, what a whiny little suck it up, Sally. Do your job. Leave poor Sarah alone. If she's a bitch, just work around her.
Yeah.
Haven't we all had to learn how to work around somebody? Be thankful she's not your boss.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Every day you ought to be thankful she's not your boss.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
Steve, the crotchety old man who
Yeah.
is, road blocking you.
Yeah. She also mentioned that
she
also mentioned that she was crying every day. I mean, if it is that freaking bad, then you're in the wrong place. Don't blame Sarah. You're just in the wrong place. If it's upsetting you that much every day, go do something else.
Yeah. All right, ladies.
Well, good. I'm glad we finally finally did this one.
I know it'll be interesting to see what
Yep.
everyone thinks.
Yep.
If everyone was as fired up as we were when we first saw it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can I tell a funny story that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today,
Yes,
sure.
please.
other than see something, say something? So I was walking down to go to work the other morning into my underground parking garage that's part of my building, and I'm following an old guy, and by old, I mean significantly older than me. You know how people of a certain age get to that very old age, whatever it is, and they start to look thin of body, not
Mhm.
frail, but you're starting to see more skeleton, rib sort of thing. Okay. He's super tall. He's got big glasses on. He's got a little dog on a leash that's being very well behaved. And I could have sworn to God he had one of those walking sticks. And I'm thinking, oh, I've never seen him. Look, he's blind. Oh no, he got into a big ass Suburban, two parking spots right next to me. And I'm like, holy hell, Mr. Magoo is driving still.
Mhm.
I was beyond shocked. I really literally thought he was blind and he was driving.
Oh
Well,
my
so I just got back from vacation, and my brother and I got into this conversation with this couple while we were swimming in the ocean. And she says early on, for some other reason, she says, well, I'm legally blind, but I can still do, this and that and the other thing. And then later on in the conversation, she told about this car that she owns and the traffic in Detroit. And so when Wade and I get out of the ocean, we're thinking, didn't she say she was legally blind? What is she driving, in Detroit traffic for? So I don't know. I think it must be a thing. They just can go until they can go. I don't know.
You want to talk about needing to have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Have the conversation with a parent about you shouldn't be driving anymore.
Yeah. Not an easy one. No.
You want to see a crotchety old woman?
Well, like
That's
any of
the idea.
us. Yeah. Would anybody, would we let anyone take our driver's licenses away? I don't think so. No.
I don't know. I'm one of those people. I can't wait for the self-driving cars.
I know you did say that.
Yep, I'm down for that. I look forward to it.
Mm, I
Now,
don't know.
if the option is being chauffeured around,
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Okay.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I think about that pretty frequently, actually. Like when you're when you're just dreaming about, celebrity life or whatever. These celebrities that they don't have to drive anywhere, and
Mhm.
anytime they want to go somewhere, the driver pulls up, picks them up, drops them right at the door. Anytime I'm thinking, okay, so for Bill and I are going to go out for a night. Where should we go? I'm always thinking about where the hell am I going to park my freaking
Yeah.
car, right? And I'm like, why can't somebody just drop me at the front door? Now, granted, Bill does drop me at the front door all the time, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would love that sort of
Mhm. I know.
It's called Uber.
pampering. I know, but yeah.
That's not pampering though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Someday.
does anybody have a shot? Anything to try?
Here, hang on. Let me look at my notes.
Do you have something, Amy?
No, not yet.
Well,
Go ahead.
let me just tell you guys. So first of all, follow up on washing the bananas.
Thank you.
Inquiring minds need to know.
Yes.
It works.
Really?
It works beautifully. Yes. So my bunch of bananas lasted at least 4 or 5 days longer than they would have
Wow.
before. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. And then also I binged the entire Deceitful Love.
Oh.
The what?
Deceitful Love.
Oh, I didn't finish it. I told you it was kind of.
Okay. Remind me what streaming service that's on?
That one is Netflix.
Netflix. Good. I need something there to watch. Okay.
Yeah, I only have Netflix or Prime. So if you don't see it on Netflix, it's on Prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't that kind of a little steamy?
It was very steamy, and it was a little. So it's an Italian series, so it's dubbed English, right? So
Yeah.
it's the kind of that you're watching it, and the lips don't match up with the. And
Like
I find
what
that
happens here sometimes.
Yes. Just like 3 cocktails in.
We're an Italian series that is just
Yes.
being dubbed.
But I always find that the actors who do the voiceover for those things, they're not the greatest. So
And they don't quite match.
they don't. No, they don't. So it's a little cheesy. It felt a little Harlequin romance-ish.
A little telenovela.
Yeah. But it was fun to binge. So now that I've got this whole new schedule going on, when I'm in here and I'm working on setting a show or invoicing or whatever it is, I just pull up Netflix or Hulu or whatever here on my computer, and I'm binging a lot. So I watched all of that. I watched A Family Affair, and I have not yet watched Idea of You. Where is Idea of You?
It's on one of those two, Amazon or Prime or Netflix, because I've seen it come up and I keep passing it over.
Okay. All right. It must be on Amazon because I didn't see it on Netflix.
Yeah.
So
So what did you think of A Family Affair?
I enjoyed it. I thought it
Did you?
was. I mean, I thought it was just light and
Yeah.
you know.
And Nicole Kidman wasn't as annoying as she has been of the late.
Yeah.
Zac Efron. I mean, that man.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth watching just for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he plays some dingy, you know.
Yeah.
He redeems
So
himself.
Kitty, now you have to watch Lonely Planet
Okay.
and tell us what you think of that.
All right.
It is not lighthearted.
Oh.
It's not like drama serious.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Cue that up tomorrow.
There you go.
Well,
Cool. Yeah, I got nothing. Do you have something?
yeah, I don't. I haven't had anything, in the last week that I've been like, oh my God, gotta share this.
Yeah. Other than vacation, I just got back from vacation. Coming back from vacation sucks.
Where did you go?
Aruba,
Okay.
where it was 85 plus degrees every day.
Okay.
Coming back to my, windy, cold.
Yeah.
Central Iowa pretty much sucks. Yeah.
14 degrees.
I know. But just like we always say, now I'm going to start planning my next vacation. So that'll be the thing.
Yes.
We just booked Punta Cana in February.
Ooh,
very
that'd be nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
One of my Facebook knitter friends that I've never met does she's in Copenhagen for like 5 days, just this fast trip. And it never dawned on me that if I had 5 days, I could go to Europe and just go to one city.
Mm-hmm.
And I did kind of have a light bulb moment like 2 days ago when I saw that and thinking, why have I never thought of that? I've always, I like a good long vacation.
Yes. Yeah.
But maybe direct flight to one city and spend 4 or 5 days there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I could get a couple of those in a year instead of one big long one.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah, although jet lag did knock me out twice, on the big trip. But maybe if it's only 5 days, you just power through.
Yeah. Sleep when you're old. That's what I always say. Yeah. We got home at 2 a.m. the other night and I got up at 6 to go to work. So
yeah, but you were fairly close. You weren't that off with your time schedule, not France to Iowa.
2 hours, but no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not like losing half a day when you go to somewhere else.
Punta Cana in February. Oh,
Can we go?
Sure.
Yeah, how come we didn't get invited?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So, and it's just going to be Bill and I this time,
Oh.
actually.
Oh, no wonder we didn't get invited.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time Bill and I took a vacation, just the two of us. So,
Yeah.
So are you going to talk business so you can write this off?
yes.
You should totally talk to your boss about
I
it.
think so.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bill has secured Employee of the Year again for the second year in a row.
Oh,
Last year, the trip was to Italy. Actually,
Yeah.
year and a half ago, trip was to Italy. This year, he has secured the Dominican. So yeah, he's
right.
doing
So
well.
this is his
This is incentive trip.
incentive trip. Good deal. Well, that's good. It's nice that
Okay.
you can go with.
I'm the plus one.
Right. Yeah.
All right, ladies.
That's something, Kitty, you bring that up. I don't too many times parents think they have to take their kids on vacation. You do not have to take your kids on
No,
vacation.
earn your own way.
Yes,
Pay for it
right?
yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Well,
fun to do once in a while, but not every time.
right. But this, and maybe we've touched on this before, but there all of a sudden, so like when I was growing up, spring break wasn't a thing. You didn't go somewhere. And then all of a sudden that became a thing. And so every year people were jetting off for spring break. And so I think these young people grew up. This is just what you do. This is just what you do.
We drove to
all
Jewel,
the time.
Iowa for our spring break. My
Right.
kids got to go to Iowa and hang at Stacey's house.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
We drove to the Black Hills. And those are great trips. But
They
that's
are.
not the way this younger generation grew up. So they just feel like, well, why don't I get to go on vacation?
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, you're off payroll. That's why.
Yep.
All
Oh,
right.
well, that's the way it
All
goes.
right. Cheers,
All right.
my dears.
we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm out.
Wait. There we go.
Oh, we're not out.
All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need an invitation. Knock, knock. I'm about to start a celebration. Let me in. Brought a good time plus some friends. Turn it up loud past 10. Turning up the crowd when I hit 'em.